Hey, good morning to my four beautiful daughters, Miller, Madison, Colette, Quinn. So I'm just going to read to you. This is the Hennepin County report that said my mom died of cardiac arrest. Now keep in mind, Mark Anderson of Horace Mann submitted her death as accidental. Okay, that's not an accidental death. Okay, and then on the death certificate, it says natural causes. It says natural causes. So this says cardiac arrest. The death certificate says natural, and Mark Anderson submitted as an accident. Now, why would an insurance agent submit it as accident? Well, you get more money. That's the only reason why. Okay, so there's three different causes of death. So I'm going to flip the page here. Narrative. 61-year-old female found lying on the floor unresponsive, with police department doing CPR and ventilating with BVM. Police department AED was on the fourth cycle of chest compressions with no shock advised. Applied RES Q-Pod, ESTIO and admin EPI, EKG applied, and pads showed Astol, attached Lucas, and ETCO2. Attempted iGel unsuccessful due to jaw stiffness. OPA placed and continued respirations with BVM, with Lucas going O2 stats were 91%. So we were getting some ventilation, okay, but very poor ETCO2 exchange. Continued Lucas and completed 3 rounds of EPI with no cardiac changes. Contacted med control, and with PT's medical history, last known well time, and length of resuscitation attempt, they were in agreement to stop efforts and call time of death at 7:05. Now here's big. This is the big part here. This is where Tim Conboy lies. Husband stated his wife was being treated for an aortic aneurysm for the past 3 years. Doctors suggested that she have it fixed before it got worse several times. But PT didn't want to go do the extended rehab in a nursing home. And concerns about catching COVID. He stated he woke up around 5 a.m. Okay, now on the police report, he says he last saw her breathing at 5 a.m. and she seemed to be breathing fine and appeared fine. At a little after 6 a.m., he noticed she wasn't breathing, and when he touched her arms, they were cold. He tried shaking her, and when she didn't respond, he grabbed his phone and called 911. While starting CPR, husband moved patient to floor. So that shows signs of a struggle. Prior to PD arrival, once PD arrived, they took over resuscitation attempt. Okay? On March 17th, 2021, at 6:23 a.m., AHEMS 592 was dispatched to a cardiac arrest death at 4066 151st Street West, Rosemount, Dakota County, Minnesota. 592 crew by Stein Dale, driver, and Grimm Jeremy, primary patient caregiver, went en route at 6:25 hours with emergent immediate response and arrived on scene at 6:30 hours. Now it says the police officers arrived at 6:24. Okay, my dad called dispatch at 6:21, so those times don't add up. The patient was a 61-year-old white female, Kathy Conboy. The patient's past medical history is notable for abdominal aortic aneurysm without rupture. Initial assessment revealed the patient had a GCS of P negative 42. 6:34 a.m. EKG, then with 6:51 EKG with 6:33 mental status. Here we go. Here's the big part. Unresponsive, skin, cyanotic, pale, and then warm. It says warm. It says warm. Now my dad said the body was cold. Chest lungs are normal, and they never did anything on the heart. It says heart not done. Okay, CPR, manual per protocol standing order, was performed successfully after one attempt at 6:33:25 by crew member Jeremy Grimm. So thank you, Jeremy Grimm, for being honest. And thank you, Officer Gage Litzner, for being honest. Okay, because they both stated on their reports the body was purple and warm. Yet, you can see here, my dad stated it was cold. Okay? So, the amount of rat poison that was in my mom's body, you could tell because he just said it was cyanotic, purple, So did Officer Gage Litzner. So that's two. Gage Litzner is a police officer. He responds to medical situations all the time, and same with this paramedic. So why would? And then now here's huge. I'm gonna go over more of this later. She still had a pulse. Okay, she still had a pulse. That means her body definitely wasn't cold. Okay, rigor mortis takes at least 1 to 2 hours to set in. Okay, when the body becomes cold, and my mom was overweight, so it would have taken at least 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so this is cold. This is called hard evidence. Okay, and I've sent it to multiple people in law enforcement, and they do nothing. Again, they're all scared of my dad. Okay, because he's a very powerful guy in Dakota County. He's threatened to have me killed for talking about this stuff. So nobody's actually investigated it. I'm the only one who's investigated it. Not judges, not law enforcement, just me. I'm the only one who's been investigating this. And again, before my mom died, a week before she died, she was making me and my daughter's breakfast before I took them to school. And she looked so purple. And the last thing I got to say to my mom was, "Mom, are you okay?" And as she slammed down my breakfast plate of bacon and eggs and toast, she said, "I feel like I'm being poisoned." She said her body's burning. Now my mom's a nurse her entire life. Okay, so why would she say that? And then I found a black and yellow box of rat poison pills tipped over in the garage. I walked out in the garage that day, and I saw rat poison pills tipped over on the shoe shelf. That's right where my dad pulled in the car, put it in her cup, spit in it too. He hated my mommy Jew. Because she did a good thing. She turned him in. She reported him. Okay? He's a monster. Tim Conboy. If you have your kids go to Rosemount High School, you have them around one of the biggest monsters I've ever met. That's my dad. I'm telling you right now. Again, before all this started, I thought he was like my best friend. I coached 3 sports with him. Okay? So you are stupid to have your kid in Rosemount High School right now. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being honest with you. You have him around a murderer and a pedophile. That's my dad. That's what he got caught doing. That's why he murdered my mom. So any law enforcement officer I reported this to, okay, you are now an accomplice to murder 1. You're now an accomplice to murder 1. If you don't come forward and be honest, if you don't start investigating, okay, that makes you an accomplice to murder 1. Like Mr. Engel of the Apple Valley Police Department. Okay, like Chief Dahlstrom of the Rosemount Police Department. Carson Thomas of the Rosemount Police Department. District 196. If you don't fire my dad, that makes you an accomplice to. You're all mandatory reporters from what I reported to you. Okay, you have a Chester the molester working at your school, Tim Conboy. So, and then just ask yourself this logical question: why would a nurse, over her entire career, she was a nurse, my mom, say she feel like she was being poisoned? Why was her body purple? Why did he move the body? I mean, in less than 3 minutes, he moved the body from the bed to the floor. Okay, and then the timestamps that the police give, the paramedics technically were there first according to these timestamps. But yet it says the police department was there first. So it's a cover-up. Again, Officer Swanson, my dad coached him. Okay, Officer Paul Larson, my dad works 4 doors down from him at Rosemount High School. Okay, my dad bragged about this his entire life, that he never gets a ticket in Rosemount. He said he got pulled over for running a red light. Anybody else would get a ticket, and they let him go. So, love you, Mom. Love you, Miller, Madison, Colette, Quinn. It's almost over. Love ya.